New details emerged following the fatal crash that has claimed the life of Grammy-nominated R&B artist Angie Stone. Stone was riding in, had turned over on the roadway.
Angie Stone's final phone call revealed shocking details that many believe hinted at her tragic death. On March 1, 2025, the 63-year-old singer died in a car crash near Montgomery, Alabama, while traveling with fellow musicians after a performance in Mobile. What did she disclose in her last hours? Here's the full story behind her untimely passing. Their 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van was in a serious wreck on Interstate 65, flipping over around 4:25 a.m. before being hit by a 2021 Freightliner Cascadia Big Rig, operated by a 33-year-old Texas resident. Though other occupants survived, Stone alone succumbed to the massive crash forces. The Alabama Highway Patrol promptly disseminated an account specifying the accident's particulars, verifying the sequence of occurrences that precipitated the crash. The abrupt nature of the event astonished many, with mourning proliferating rapidly among those who esteemed her not merely as a musical professional, but as an individual. Close relatives, profoundly anguished by the unforeseen bereavement, communicated publicly on March 3rd via an emotional declaration conveyed by the Weems firm, an Atlanta-situated legal practice. Through this communal manifestation of grief, her cherished ones recognized the flood of affection and solidarity they had obtained throughout this intensely distressing interval. Individuals intimately acquainted with her spoke fervently regarding the methods by which she had elevated others. She functioned as a potent motivational figure for African American females, while her artistic output similarly paid homage to black males, particularly through her successful composition, Brother, that connected profoundly with audiences. During her professional trajectory, she employed her vocal talents not simply for amusement purposes, but for enabling others, with her devotion to positively influencing people's existences being apparent in all her endeavors. She showed equivalent dedication to community betterment, a zeal she manifested via her charitable establishment, Angel Stripes, the Angie Stone Foundation. Through this enterprise, she labored exhaustively to bolster numerous initiatives close to her spirit. Religious conviction occupied a substantial position in her existence, molding her conduct and directing her choices. As an honored participant in Zeta Beta, a historically meaningful Greek organization included among the Divine Nine, she discovered companionship and fortitude in its objectives. Furthermore, she had lately participated in theological education, where she intensified her sacred pilgrimage. Her relatives have petitioned supporters to persistently commemorate her remembrance, preserving her heritage for subsequent generations. So what constituted the essence of Stone's existence? Continue viewing to discover her origins and vocational commencement. Originating from Columbia, South Carolina, Stone matured enveloped by sacred musical traditions. From youthful years, she submerged herself in the profoundly devout environment of First Nazareth Baptist Church, where she refined her singing capabilities under Reverend Blakely N. Scott's tutelage. The potent effect of spiritual music was equally powerful within her domestic sphere, especially via her paternal figure, who participated actively in a regional gospel quartet. He assumed a meaningful part in cultivating her musical affection, routinely escorting her to observe presentations by celebrated gospel assemblies like the Singing Angels and the Gospel Keynotes. These encounters implanted within her an intense gratitude for the passionate fervor and vocal mastery characteristic of gospel music that would ultimately emerge as a hallmark of her performing manner. During the concluding years of the 1970s, as the hip-hop phenomenon commenced formation, Stone courageously entered the musical arena at merely 16 years. She united with Cheryl the Pearl Cook and Gwendolyn Blondie Chisholm to establish the Sequence, among the initial all-female rap collectives. Their vibrant dynamism and indisputable aptitude rapidly seized notice, and they shortly performed backstage during a Sugar Hill Gang concert in South Carolina. Their exhibition attracted Sylvia Robinson's notice, an innovating personality in hip-hop and administrator responsible for Sugar Hill Records. Identifying their promise, she contracted them to the company, rendering the Sequence simply the second rap ensemble on its lineup. In 1980, the threesome attained a major advancement with their recording Funk You Up that ascended to 15th position on America's premier black singles ranking. This accomplishment instituted them as pathfinders in hip-hop's initial male-controlled realm. Throughout subsequent years, the sequence preserved a vigorous existence in the musical landscape, generating multiple well-received compositions including Monster Jam, a cooperative effort with MC Spoonie G, and Funky Sound, Tear the Roof Off, that grew beloved among devotees of the developing category. With Sylvia Robinson's supervision, they journeyed extensively, conveying their lively shows to spectators nationwide. Nonetheless, as hip-hop progressed from its foundational celebration-oriented rhythms toward a rougher, more socially contemplative mode, the sequence encountered difficulties preserving their pertinence. By 1985, the assemblage had diminished from prominence, ultimately separating as their musical output no longer corresponded with the genre's shifting trajectory. Despite their exit from the business, their input established fundamentals for forthcoming female performers in hip-hop. Resolved to stay engaged in the music field, Stone shifted into novel artistic alliances. She cooperated with the hip-hop and electro-funk assembly Mantronics and subsequently assumed lead singing duties for Vertical Hold, a modern R&B trio. The unit acquired acknowledgement through their broadly commended track Seems You're Much Too Busy that seized R&B aficionados' notice. During ensuing years, they issued two long players, A Matter of Time, 1993, and Head First, 1995, exhibiting Stone's opulent, soul-inflected vocals and capacity to supply passionately intense renditions. In 1996, she initiated another musical undertaking, combining with Jerry DeVaughn, a gifted instrumentalist and cousin to rock vocalist Lenny Kravitz, plus songwriter Charlie Mole to create the faction Devox. Their joint labors yielded a recording Devox featuring Angie B. Stone, circulated in Japan via Toshiba EMI. While it didn't achieve extensive awareness, chosen selections were incorporated into Front of the Line, a collection generated by Jerry DeVaughn and disseminated through Expansion Records. Beyond stage appearances, Stone displayed noteworthy adaptability as a composer and supporting singer. She added to D'Angelo's initial two universally praised long players Brown Sugar and Voodoo, with her participation stretching past recording studios as she traveled with D'Angelo, supplementing his performances with her unique vocal blends. Moreover, she functioned as an auxiliary vocalist on Lenny Kravitz's Five, strengthening her standing as a desired cooperative partner inside the music business. Her comprehensive background ultimately guided her toward an independent professional path. During the late 1990s, Peter Edge, an 8ANDR official at Arista Records, presented her to Clive Davis, the powerful label director. Captivated by her singing excellence and creative possibilities, Davis proffered an exclusive recording agreement. This pivotal instant resulted in her first independent album, Black Diamonds, September 1999 issuance. The collection encountered extensive commendation, attaining a top 10 berth on Billboard's U.S. premier R&B/hip-hop albums index. As its renown expanded, Black Diamond secured gold authentication from both the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, and British Phonographic Industry, BPI. The album's introductory single, No More Rain in This Cloud, led the adult R&B songs tally, gaining Stone 2 designations at the 2000 Soul Train Music Awards. The tune's sincere verses and expressive presentation illustrated her aptitude to bond with listeners on a meaningful plane, confirming her position as a formidable independent musician. Soon afterward, she transferred to J Records, a fresh imprint supervised by her enduring advocate Clive Davis. In 2001, she added to the signature melody for the UPN, the CW comedy series Girlfriends, and even appeared fleetingly in a third-season installment. That identical year, she delivered her second studio effort, Mahogany Soul, additionally cementing her situation in modern R&B. The undertaking incorporated an extensive assortment of joint efforts, including associations with Carvin and Ivan, Raphael Sadiq, Swizz Beatz, Alicia Keys, and Eve. Similar to its forerunner, Mahogany Soul obtained favorable critiques, climaxing at 4th place on America's premier R&B/hip-hop albums register. Globally, it achieved momentum, penetrating the top 20 in Dutch, Finnish, and Flemish album rankings. The album's secondary single, Wish I Didn't Miss You, transformed into her most triumphant worldwide success, entering the top 10 in Australia and Belgium while commanding Billboard's Dance Club Songs roster. Her input to the album procured extra acknowledgement, with Mahogany Soul getting gold confirmation from the RIAA and BPI. Furthermore, her partnership with Calvin Richardson, More Than a Woman, guaranteed a nomination for Premier R&B Execution by a duo or group with vocals at the 45th Grammy Awards, denoting a noteworthy career landmark. Intriguingly, developments didn't conclude there. A fresh segment commenced when Angie Stone's third studio album appeared in June 2004, representing another vocational breakthrough. To actualize this venture, Davis recruited the skills of famous producers Warren Campbell, Jazzy Faye, and Missy Elliott. Collectively, they allied with Stone, who assumed an engaged function in molding the album by composing and generating half the conclusive track inventory. Upon its issuance, the album created a considerable effect, entering the U.S. Billboard 200 at 14th position during its premiere week, with 53,000 duplicates sold, affirming its situation as a powerful competitor in musical rankings. Before the album's comprehensive launch, the single I Wanna Thank Ya, featuring Snoop Dogg, was unveiled to audiences. This alliance reverberated with listeners, promptly becoming a favored selection in Belgium, where it ascended into the top 5, establishing its hit condition. By 2005, Stone had already focused on her subsequent undertaking, initiating labor on what was anticipated to be her 5th studio album. However, J Records, aiming to regulate expenditures, proposed an alternate course. Rather than advancing with an entirely novel album, the imprint recommended she integrate her original substance, including the previously unissued single I Wasn't Kidding, into an anthology. Consequently, Stone Hits, the very best of Angie Stone, was formulated, containing a hand-picked assortment from her initial 3 albums, mirroring the label's tactical choice to optimize her prior output while presenting some innovative components. Meanwhile, after 5 years with J Records, Stone ultimately resolved to progress onward. At 2005's conclusion, she petitioned contractual liberation, an appeal approved unconditionally. This determination permitted her to reclaim artistic command, preparing for fresh possibilities. Throughout this phase, an original division in her melodic profession developed when Stone inked with the reorganized Stax Records, a fabled imprint with an abundant soul and R&B legacy. Under this novel affiliation, she constructed her 4th studio album, The Art of Love and War, its designation referencing her J Records encounters, where she routinely mentored emerging artists. Issued in October 2007, the album premiered at 11th position on the U.S. Billboard 200, distributing 45,000 copies in its debut week, her loftiest charting collection to date. Moreover, it became her solitary album to summit the top R&B/hip-hop albums register. The album's introductory single, Baby, a collaboration with legendary Betty Wright, seized global notice, becoming Stone's 2nd chart topper on America's Adult R&B Songs Index. The track's prosperity was additionally honored with a 50th Annual Grammy Awards nomination. Persisting with Stax Records, Stone undertook her next endeavor. Her 5th studio album, Unexpected, arrived in November 2009. The title bore profound individual implication, citing her father's abrupt, sorrowful passing during the album's creation. This traumatic occurrence guided the album's course, prompting Stone to adopt a marginally dissimilar musical tactic, incorporating lively R&B and funk components. Despite her imaginative development, the album underperformed commercially, debuting at 133rd on the U.S. Billboard 200 without international chart influence. The lead single, I Ain't Hearin' You, attained reasonable achievement, peaking at 4th on Billboard's Adult R&B Songs ranking. Approximately simultaneously, Stone broadened her entertainment industry presence, featuring in Rockman Dunbar's comedic drama Pastor Brown as a strip club proprietor. That same year, she donated vocals to the civil rights documentary For a Revolution soundtrack, interpreting Wade in the Water. By 2010, she sustained acting pursuits, accepting the head matron role at an all-girl institution in Nick Cannon's Schoolgirls, a venture incorporating multiple Def Jam-affiliated artists, further associating Stone with contemporary R&B's changing terrain. In May 2012, Stone contracted with Saguaro Road Records, a Time Life subsidiary, releasing Rich Girl that September, an album containing a Malcolm Jamal Warner-narrated spoken word segment. During 2013, she united with Brian McKnight for a nationwide Hinton Battles Love Lies tour alongside Crystal Aiken and Elise Neal. That identical year, she joined TV1's R&B Divas second season as mentor and life advisor. Come November 2015, Stone revealed her seventh studio album, Dream, via Shinachi Entertainment, top-notch music and conjunction entertainment collaboration. Primarily co-written by Stone with Candace Nelson, Bala Muhammad, and Hallway Productions contributions, the album entered at third position on the top hip-hop/R&B albums chart with roughly 9,000 initial week sales. Its introductory single, Two Bad Habits, moderately impacted adult R&B songs rankings. After another label transition, Stone undertook an innovative test by issuing a reinterpretation album, Covered in Soul, via Golden Lane Records, containing classic song renditions from Phil Collins, Hot Chocolate, and Neil Diamond. In July 2019, she returned with her ninth studio album, Full Circle, through Conjunction Entertainment and Cleopatra Records, featuring lead single Dinosaur. Her melodic heritage gained additional validation in June 2024 when she obtained an accolade honoring her songwriting input, an attainment symbolizing the lasting impression she rendered throughout her vocation, confirming her stature as a prominent R&B and soul music personality. However, her domestic existence contrasted markedly. Regarding family matters, Stone parented two offspring, daughter Diamond, born 1984 from her union with Lil Rodney C. Stone of Funky 4+1, who later contributed backing vocals to a 2007 song before becoming a mother herself in 2008 and again in July 2012, and son Michael D'Angelo Archer II, born 1998 from her relationship with a prominent neo-soul artist. Residing in Atlanta with both children, she juggled parenting duties alongside her career. Health-wise, she received a type 2 diabetes diagnosis in 1999, a condition affecting her mother and aunt, prompting her participation in Eli Lilly's Face Diabetes Awareness campaign with Anthony Anderson. However, March 2015 witnessed distressing developments when Stone was arrested following a physical confrontation with her daughter in Lithonia, Georgia. Authorities reported the 53-year-old struck her daughter with a metal stand during an argument over household duties, causing dental damage. Stone claimed self-defense after being hit first, but the altercation resulted in aggravated assault charges. Attempts to contact her representatives proved unsuccessful, leaving legal representation and case resolution uncertain.